Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Nicoletta and I am your weird sister. If you need a weird sister, I got plenty of weird to go around. But yeah, we're starting a new month here. So this month we're going to be doing self-check month. My last video was on negativity and you don't need negativity in your life, just in general. Not on a global or political or anything like that, but just we need to stop focusing so much on negativity. So if you didn't watch that video, that's a synopsis right there. Trying to find ways to also put out like ways to avoid that or how you can make yourself a little brighter, happier maybe. I don't know you specifically, but I do know what works in general and what works for me. So I'll be posting those things accordingly. But this is self-check month. And what that means to me is how we get in touch with our authenticity and how we get back to finding our spark. I see a lot of people posting and on here and just like in general. And I don't have any social media, but I hear things, I see things on TV, and I hear that people keep posting about they've lost their spark, they've lost their authenticity, they've lost, their purpose. And we've all, I think, become so lost in who we are because we've been just in survival mode. I mean, I don't know if you know or not, but there was a huge pandemic that occurred about 6 years ago. And I think since then, we've just all kind of gone downhill and then gone back uphill and had a moment of clarity and we're okay for a little bit. And then you just kind of have been riding the wave up and down, trying to find where you're at again and recenter. And that's hard to do. It's really hard to do. And as somebody that has been called weird her whole life, I can tell you that your spark never leaves you. Your authenticity never leaves you. It's still there. It's still a part of you. And the best way that you can find that spark back inside yourself again and figuring out who you really are or what you really should be doing is not by following what other people tell you. I, my whole life, have never followed anyone and their pursuits. I have usually fought them in some way. I've usually questioned it. I've usually found myself to be misunderstood in how I pursued my things. It's hard when you're 18 and years ago for me. I don't know if that's for you or not, but when you're 18 and you decide right after high school, like literally as soon as you got your diploma, I'm going to open an art business and do that. And you've had that now for 15 years. That's my story. That's my story. Okay, this is all my art right here, with the exception of this one. This one is one of my friend's pieces, but these three are mine. And it's hard, I was misunderstood my whole life. And I mean, it came down to me at sometimes pushing a shopping cart from Food City uphill in my pumps to go to a show because my cab had broken down. So I got all my pieces out of the car, loaded a shopping cart from Food City, pushed it uphill in my pumps, and went to my show and sold my art and sold other people's art on top of it. Because a lot of times I found artists that were not able to approach clients or having a difficulty with that and selling their stuff. So I was always that voice. And, that was my spark. And that's always been my spark. And that probably always will be my spark. It's helping people, advocating people, and my art. And when you lose that, it's not that you lost it. It's just that you focused so hard and overthought so much about someone else and their goals for you, or what you wanted to pursue because you thought it might be normal. Okay. That's a bad word for me, is normal. You thought it would be normal. And what did that get you? It got you lost and confused and out of your spark. Like, what you have to do is take a step back and ask yourself, is this working for me? Is this working for the people that I love and care about? And on that note, because a lot of times how we get into those things is through family that thinks they know better. Think about who your family is. Think about that. If your family is telling you to do something because it's something they didn't get to do, or they've also lost their spark and they're trying to tell you what to do, there's a phrase for that. It's called misery loves its company. And you shouldn't listen to those people. I don't care if it's a relative. I don't care if it's somebody close to you that you think is helping you. Don't listen to those people. Listen to what you have in here. And if what you have in here says start a sneaker business, start a t-shirt business, let's pick something not fashion, start a roller rink or whatever, that only sells dinosaur skates. I don't know. Something random. Go for it. Go for it. There's going to be people in the future that are going to have a need for whatever you want to do. Check with yourself and look inside yourself and try and figure out what's working for you. We're in month 2, day 2 of, this month and this year. Well, day 2 of this month, you know what I'm talking about. But, that's how I would regain my authenticity. Look within inside yourself and try and figure out where you went down the rabbit hole wrong. Okay? I live going down the rabbit hole with things. And I can tell you, it gets scary, it gets crazy, and it gets hectic, and up is down and down is up. And if that makes sense to you, that means you're probably not where you should be. You're probably not where you should be. You need to find somewhere that's maybe more chill. And to get that, you have to look inside yourself. Refocus. Regroup. Recenter. I mean, I make lists all the time to help myself, get to that level, because I have such a crazy mindset. Not in that I'm crazy and that I'm just creative, and people call that crazy, but I have to sometimes take a step back and be like, okay, why don't we make a list first and try and grid this shit out? And sometimes that's all you need to do, to go back with yourself and get back to that center. And if for any reason you can't get there, try some new things that you want to do. Not that someone else told you to do, that you want to do. And you're like, well, let's say, Nicoletta, I can't really make those decisions myself. I don't know how to do that. I don't know what I like, what I don't like. Go and try something that doesn't harm yourself or others. Okay, we're not promoting that on this channel. And see if it works for you. That's all. The other thing to note on this is there's a whole generation of kids that we have going that are being told that they need to do this, that, and the other thing. And I am really proud of Gen Z for sticking it to a lot of the systems that we have. You know, you see on the news, Gen Z isn't going to college. Gen Z isn't doing this. Gen Z isn't doing that. Because Gen Z has learned that it is about what's in here. Gen Z is the cultivation of everything we have done so far, and they have seen from relatives in past generations, boomers, Gen X, even millennials, what doesn't work. And I'm really proud of them for sticking it to the system. And if you're on this channel and you're Gen Z, I have a Gen Z little sister. I don't mind having another Gen Z sibling as a weird sister. So kudos, you know? But that's what I would do. I would refocus, recenter, regroup, or try something new to figure out where you stand in this world, you know, within reason. And, you know, when you try new things and let's say they don't work, it's kind of like the Whole30 diet, and you're finding out what's an allergy to your authenticity. So I just have notes up here so that I don't forget, because again, crazy mind. Another thing, yep, is that you don't you don't ever want to have to lose your spark again, right? Like the way that you feel right now probably sucks if you've lost your spark. You just feel like you're surviving. You don't know who you are anymore. When I was in corporate America for a long time, like 15 years, I felt that way every day. There would be days I would just come home and I would just crash. I wouldn't even have the strength to cry or be mad. I just would crash. And I developed my own health issues from that. And I can bet that that's probably where you're at, or you feel like you're there if you've lost your spark. And it's not a fun place to be. And if you're there right now and you're watching this and you're trying to figure out how to get yourself back, you know, just know that I support you and I care about you and you matter and you are enough. 100%. It doesn't matter what that one relative said. Doesn't matter what that boss said. Doesn't matter what that team lead said. That petty ass coworker. You matter. You're enough. And that job ain't shit. I can promise you. They'll have someone that looks maybe not like you, but to them is you the next day. They don't matter. Don't worry about it. And as I say in a few of my videos, go take a walk. The amount of clarity I get from taking a walk really helps. And that might be your first step to figuring yourself out and getting back in your center. Go take a walk. Go take a hike. Go take a drive. Those are the top 3 things I do. You know, whether I'm troubleshooting, like what I want to do for an art piece, what kind of thing I want to put in copywriting, or for a new prompt or a new idea, you know, how I want to go about doing something for bookkeeping, or just anything creative that I have going. Maybe I got a side project or something going. I take a walk. And that helps me clear my head. And that's something I do. That doesn't have to be something you do. You know, if you want to go down and, you know, throw knives at one of them places where you can throw knives, or, you know, maybe you like to go swim, or, you know, you want to go walk around the mall. I don't care. Whatever works for you, go do it. And maybe that'll give you the peace and center that you need. But it's important now more than ever to constantly be in check with ourselves. And another thing that I want to note is, you know, oftentimes I hear with Gen Z and even my own generation, the millennial generation, that there's like this issue with spouses and partners and going after what somebody else wants just because you're with them and you're together. Don't do that. I can tell you from experience that I have done those things. I'm a very sensitive, empathic person. And you fall down that trap and you trust somebody and you think that they see what's in here and they're going to help you, achieve what you want with what's in here out there. That's not always true. The company you keep matters. And now more than ever, we have to be in tune with that. If you're ever around anybody that makes you feel pressured to make decisions that you're not sure of, or you're ever around anybody that constantly is pushing their needs, their wants, their goals on you, and when you bring your stuff up, they don't care, that's not for you. You're going to find a million other videos that say that, but truly, that's not for you. And you need to take a step back from it. You need to walk away from it. You need to regroup. And the way that they react to you giving yourself space from that situation and asserting a boundary is going to tell you everything about how much they care about what's in here. So sit with yourself, figure things out, figure out what works best for you this month, this week, whatever time you need, because it is self-check month, to figure that out and get regrouped. Figure out what would work best for you and just go from there. I'm always here. My inbox is always open. It's already rolling. And I'm here for you. So there's that. Thanks for viewing my channel and stay weird. Peace.